Well, a small booster for Biocon as they have received a certificate of good manufacturing practices compliance from the European regulator for its insulin manufacturing facility in Malaysia. Kiran Shaw, CMD of Biocon, is with us now. Kiran, good morning. How big is this plant compared to some of your other plants in terms of potential? How big is this news?
Well, as you know, the Malaysian facility is one of our largest insulin manufacturing facilities, and we expect to, be developing all our insulin analogs at this facility. And the first of the block is, of course, insulin glargine. So this particular, GMP certification that we've received from EMA pertains to our insulin glargine dossier that we had submitted to the EMA.
Okay. Morning, Kiran. When will the US FDA inspect it, or have they already? Should we expect some news very soon?
You mean the Malaysian facility?
Yes.
No, it has not yet been inspected by US FDA.
Okay. Is it on the cards or something?
Well, we do expect it to be inspected at some stage in the near future.
So where does this plant supply to in terms of large markets, Kiran?
At the moment, we are actually catering to, of course, the Malaysian market, where we have entered into an offtake agreement with the Malaysian government for insulin, and we will be also catering to their glargine needs. We are also in the process of beginning to cater to some of the developing world markets, especially Latin America, Middle East, and a few other markets.
Okay. And will you be using this as site transfer as well from some of your other sites? Maybe say from Bangalore?
Well, at the moment, basically, Malaysia is being looked at as a very major facility. India is also a facility which manufactures the same products. So we like to use it as two separate sites which can basically balance each other.
No, actually, what we are all trying to figure out is what extent of your revenues are coming from the Malaysian facility and could come in terms of percentage.
So obviously, once we get all our analogs approved by the various, regulatory agencies, we expect Malaysia to contribute significantly to our insulin's portfolio. And it will obviously, make up almost 3/4 of our insulin revenues in the years to come.
Okay. Since we have you with us, just the other news that came out a few days back, the US FDA extending the target action date. Does that mean anything in terms of, something imminent coming by December 3rd? How should we interpret this news?
Well, this is a review process which the US FDA, engages in. And we understand that this is not unusual for the US FDA to extend these review timelines. And, from the looks of it, I think it's really pertaining to certain clarificatory, queries that they have posed to us in the recent times. And it appears that they need a little more time to review. And when we looked at some of the other dossiers, biosimilar dossiers that have been, submitted to the US FDA over the last, year or so, we have also seen a few extension timelines like the one we have received.
Okay. So this is entirely on their own that they extend these timelines. It's not something which a company can request.
No, this is something that they decide on, because this is a long review process, and as you know, biosimilars is still in its nascency, and therefore the review process can get extended. It all depends on who is reviewing it and, what is the kind of dossier review that is taking place.
Okay.
And I think I had also explained in the past that basically US FDA has three aspects of a biosimilar dossier and biosimilar review process. One is, of course, the CMC review, which is what this is pertaining to.
Okay.
Then you, of course, have the clinical review, which, of course, as you know, we got the ODAC approval for. And the third is, of course, the GMP, which involves facilities inspection.
Okay.
So I think what we are really looking at in terms of the review process, which has been extended, is really pertaining to the CMC review.
One final question. Biocon and JDRF announced a partnership. What does that mean? Does it mean more money? How would you benefit?
Well, basically, as you know, we've been really focusing on, advancing our oral insulin program, the IN105 program, or insulin Trego pill, as we call it. And we are actually embarking on two very important pivotal studies. One is, of course, for type 2 diabetes, which will be a large study. And this one is basically a type 1 study. And I think the important, messaging here is that the Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund has given us a grant and is partnering us in basically answering certain key questions about this particular drug in type 1 diabetes. Okay. So I think this is going to be a very important study that will become a sort of a proof of concept, if you were to call it that, to help us answer some very key questions.
All right. Look forward to, of course, the evolution of this into something concrete. Thank you very much, Kiran, for joining us with those details.